Yeshiva World.
Yilas Adonai Daber Pi Vivarech Avasar Shengot Shalilam Voed V'anachnu Nevarech Yo V'Tovi Adolam Hallelujah Yisgadel Yisgadel Shemei Rabbah V'yalema Divirach Yerusei V'yamlich Malchusei V'zman karev v'mero amen yesh yizbarach v'yishtabach v'yizbar v'yizraymar v'yiznaseh v'yizadar v'yizaleh
Kasher dibarto Oy Yerushalayim It's not good Oy
Umaydim lifnei melech malchei hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu חיים
הרב מדבר, מה זה? הרב מדבר?
ברשות הגבאי, ברשות הגבאי, יש בעיה אנחנו רוצים לשמוע את הרב זה שהוא מוחל על כבודו, אנחנו לא מוחלים על כבודו אז אנחנו מבקשים
מחירת חומץ!
אם תוכלו לשמוע בשתי מילים רבותיי אני מגיע מישיבה של רב צבי שניאורסון אם אתם מכירים את הישיבה
מחירת חומץ!
ישיבה של בעלי תשובה בעיקר
4 מילים נגמר יאללה תראה 4 מילים נגמר
קהל רוצה לשמוע
Mordechai was Yosef B'Shar HaMelech. But ain't Esther. Esther was not Yosef B'Shar HaMelech. Now what does that mean? Either that Yosef, Mordechai was a Ben Torah, who sat and learned. That's if he was part of the, what's it called, the Yadus HaTorah. Or he was Yosef B'Beis HaKela, if he was part of the Eights. One of the two, Mordechai was a Ben Torah. Either he was sitting in the base medrash, or he was sitting in jail. Esther, however, was in the Knesset Aktana, and she was the chashivas of Noshim. By Noshim it says, "Nu yikar lebaleya mikotten v'yad gadol." Now the Chora, what was there a need for 2 Batik Nesios in Shushan?
For good Jews.
One from Mordechai and one from Esther. So the Etzem idea is that Achashverosh, Esther, Vashti were all double people. They were fooling. How do you know that? By Achashverosh, it said Achashverosh who Achashverosh. He was obviously a double person. By Vashti it says, "V'gam Vashti also mishtei nashim." Vashti was made out of 2 different people. And that's why it's interesting in the Megillah, in case it bothered you, it says by Achashverosh, "Chamas HaMelech shachacha and Hamas HaMelech Boaro. How many mother-in-laws did he have? Right? One was named Shachacha, and the other one was named Boaro. And vice versa, since Vashti was two people, so she had two mothers. So Mela had two mothers-in-law. Esther was also two people. Esther was also two people.
So is it gold or blue?
It says Esther bas Dodo and Esther bas Abichai. L'chora, if her father was Dodo, how could her father be Abichai? So it must be that she had two fathers. She was two different people. That's why it says that. It says by Esther also, Ein lo av v'ein. She didn't have a father and mother. And then it says, Uvamosa via v'ima, that her father and mother died. She didn't have any father and mother. How in the world could they die? Otherwise, she had two fathers and mothers. No, I'm bringing another right. She had two fathers and two mothers. One of them she never had, and one she had that they died. Also, it says that Achashverosh put Keser Malchus Berosha. The Chorsh was two people, she had two heads. Should have had a Keser Malchus on both heads. But that was the Chatzia Malchus. At Chatzia Malchus. Only one head had a Keser Malchus, the other head not. And the Achashverosh Lamaisha had two crowns. Right? Because it says, Levush Malchus Asher Lovosh Bo HaMelech V'sus. Right? That he had a Levush Malchus that the king wore and a sus. Why did the sus wear the same beggar that the Achashverosh wore? Because Achashverosh was two people. One was a horse and one was a regular person. He was like one of these centaurs. Half horse and half human being. And that's why the Shernit and Keser Malchus Barosha. Achashverosh had a Keser both on the horse's head and on his own head, which he was two different people. But Esther only had one head that had a Keser, the other head didn't. She was Michatzia Malchus. That's why it answers a big kasha. So it says before Esther married Achashverosh, she married Chen and Chesed. Atisa Chen v'Chesed lefana. She married Chen and Chesed before she married Achashverosh. So the Chora, how could she marry two people? She must have been two people herself. The only problem is, maybe not. Maybe she married them one after the other. That can't be. Mother Shach. What happened to them? If they died, she was a Katalonis, so she couldn't marry Achashverosh. It must be that what's it called, that they couldn't have died. Elamai was Megarish her. But she couldn't have married Achashverosh either because Achashverosh was a Kohen. It says Beferish in the Medrash and put on the big day kahuna. So even though Achashverosh was a Kohen Hedyot, not a Kohen Gadol, how do I know he's a Kohen Hedyot? Because a Kohen Hedyot doesn't have to take a haircut unless he's Ovid. A Kohen Gadol takes a haircut every week. And it says, Kol Avdei HaMelech HaYoshvim B'Sar HaMelech. Everybody was in his hair. The Maisa, if he had so much hair, he couldn't have taken a haircut every week. So the Maisa, what's it called, he must have been at least only a Kohen Hedyot, not a Kohen Gadol. So he's also Begrusha, Mutter Be'almana. So it must be that Chen v'Chesed, what's it called, married her at the same time, and they died. She wasn't a Grusha, she was an Almana, right? And only an Almana once, because they married her at the same time. How could they marry at the same time? She must have been two people. That's why it says that Achashverosh loved Esther mikol anoshim and mikol abasulos. Manavshach, she was an Isha, she was a basula. She was both. She was, part of her was an Isha and part of her was a basula. Okay, so now that explains why they felt a need to have two Bate Knesios in Shushan, because everything in Shushan was done double, except for Mordechai, Esther, Vashti, and Achashverosh. Now, however, Lamaisha, that was the Ikr, why they needed two shuls. But what was the benefit of having two shuls? So you have to understand the difference between Mordechai and Esther. Mordechai, right, was Doresh, was a Yoshe by Yeshiva, like we said, or sitting in jail because he learned the Yeshiva, right? And Esther was Vatamo b'Chotzer HaMelech, not sitting down, not Meguyas, because Ish Nashim are not Meguyasim, and she wasn't learning.
They're on the way.
She wasn't a Bas Yeshiva or a Ben Yeshiva. She was what's called Chanichei HaYeshivas. What does that mean, Chanichei HaYeshivos?
Not you.
Chanichayim are the gums. That's the Minasofa V'Lachutz. That's the externals of the Torah. It's called Chanichei HaYeshivos. That's the gums of the Torah. Mordechai was the pnimius of the Torah. He sat and learned or whatever, so he had his shul. And then there was the people who were the gums of Torah, the Chanichei HaYeshivos. They were the people who had the externals, Minasofa V'Lachutz. Huh? Yeah, fine. So that's called Chanichei HaYeshivos, right? That's the chitzonius of Torah. Esther needed a shul where they could talk. Why? Because it says Esther talked in the middle of davening. Where does it say that? It's about Daber Lifnei HaMelech. When she was standing there, Lifnei HaMelech, she was talking. Right? The same time that she was crying and saying Tchinas, the same time she was talking. So Esther used to talk during davening. Okay? Mordechai says not like that. Right? That whenever Mordechai wanted to talk during davening, he told Esther to do it for him. Maimer Mordechai Esther also. Whenever Mordechai wanted to talk, Esther would talk for him. So Mordechai didn't talk during davening. Also, Mordechai gave drushes. Doresh Tov Li'ama. He was a darshan. And what's it called? And also, Dover Shalom. Right? When time came to say goodbye, and Mordechai also gave shiurim and drushes. Right? And he was therefore a Mishnah Lamelech. He used to give Daf Mishnah Yomi also. So all these shiurim, Mishnah Yomi, and when they said goodbye, gave another shiur. It's Doresh Tov. Esther couldn't take that. Why? Because ain't Esther Magidus. Esther was not a Magidah. She wasn't a Darshan. She didn't want drushes.
Just talking.
So that's why he says, Vayikra Mordechai is begodim. Mordechai was reading his begodim. What was written on his begodim? Must be all these short shiurim that you can write on your cuff. Those were the shiurim that Mordechai was reading from his begodim. So, Ein Esther Magedes, she didn't like shiurim. Also, another thing that Esther didn't like, right, why she wasn't in Mordechai's Knesset Hagdola, because Gemara says, Polchu L'Tzelem, that generation, they bowed down to an idol, and that means they didn't want Adon Olam. They didn't want the Rabbanu Shalom. They weren't interested in singing Adon Olam at the end of davening. And also, Kol Ish Shorer B'Beso, everybody wanted to sing in their house, but not Anim Zemiros in the shul. So the Maisa, they didn't want Adon Olam, they didn't want Anim Zemiros, they didn't want any drushes, they didn't want any shiurim. They wanted to be able to talk during davening, so there was a need for a Knesset Ketana and also a Knesset Gedola. A Knesset Gedola where they wouldn't talk, where there'd be shiurim, where there would be drushes, where they'd sing Anim Zemiros and they would say Adon Olam, and a Knesset Ketana where all those things were in Shaya.
So that's as a Snashim, the Chanishei Yeshivas?
Esther is there. This whole Shaila was a machlokas between Esther and Mordechai. What was better? Kamus or Echus? Big Shaila. To do two things with lesser Echus, or to do one thing but with more Echus. Right. Esther held that the Iker is the Kamus, because she was a chitzonius person, Chanichei HaYeshivos, the goals, not the inside. Memela, when it comes to chitzonius, Kom Alecha Besori. There, the more Kamus, when it comes to the chitzonius, to the Basar, that's on the other hand, that's why she said, Eichecha Uchal, I don't need Eichus, right? That's Ovdan Moladity. That's against my Shita, Eichus. But when it comes to Ruchnius, there the Eichus is the Iker, not the Kamus. This is Bemis a Shaila that Yosef Engel has in Aspen Deraisa. Whether the Iker is two separate mitzvahs, but less Ka Eichus, or one mitzvah with a lot of Eichus. He brings Rayas Lakan, we'll get to that. You have to understand what his angle was. From what Zavis he looked at this thing. But in any case, the Chora, from the fact that Mishloach Monos and Matonos Levyonim, you can bring a raya from there. Mishloach Monos, you give one person two things. That's more Eichus and less Kamas. You don't give more than one person, you only give one person, but you give them nice two things. Matanos Levyonim is just the opposite. You give two people kamos, but only one thing. So which is better? So Chazal say there's an inyan b'dafka to give more Matanos Levyonim, meaning to give more Evyonim, not just more to each Evyon. Give more Evyonim, there's no inyan to give more Mishloach Manos. Mashma, the Eichos is Machriya, the Kamos. Because over here, it's Kedai to give, what's it called, an Evyon, more Evyonim, there should be also the Eichos and the Kamos. And here it doesn't say by Mishloach Manos that there's an inyan to do more, because otherwise you gave Eichos is more. It could be this is totally in the Shaila of Eretz Yisrael and Bavel. In Eretz Yisrael, they used to finish the Torah every 3 years. So there was more, kamus of laning, but less eichus. Here they finished the Torah every year. Here it took 3 years to finish. On the other hand, there was more eichus in the siyum that happened by the Eretz Yisrael decree. Siyum once every 3 years, and more eichus in the siyum than a siyum that happens every year. So the Maisa, it evened out, so you can't say it's totally in that machlokes. So Mordechai held, like Rav Yosef Engel, that the halacha is that the eichus is machriya the kamus. Better to have one shul with barovam than to have two shuls. And Esther held not like that, and that was Shalokadin. Shalokadin, better to have two shuls, each one with less people, than one shul with more people. Is one thing with more eichus is better than two things with less eichus. And therefore, one of Haman's tainas on Klal Yisrael, which gave him power, was mefuzar umefora, that was split into two kehilas. And the Neila, Haman also held that it would be better to have one kehila with more people, and since they're split into two kehilas, they are vulnerable to his gzeira. And that's why Mordechai told Esther, if you want to be misgaber on the gzeira of Haman, then im hacharesh tacharishi beis azos. If you keep quiet, not talk during davening, revach v'hatzola yamod laYehudim, then there'll be a hatzola. But if you're going to continue talking and davening and continue with your shul, then you're not going to be a revach v'hatzola yamod laYehudim. And that's what Achashverosh said. Hagam lichbo shamalka ibi baboyis. Right? That Vaisais, it was supposed to be only one bias, not two batim, not a bias. Bias gdol and a bias ktana, but lichbosh is a malka imi baboyis. Everything should be in one bias. That's why it says that Purim was la krovim v'alarechokim, both to the people who were far and to the people who were close. Who were the people who were far and the people close? Mordechai was Yoshe b'Shara Melech. He was inside the Shara. He was inside the gate, and the other shul was outside the gate, outside the Shara. So now I want to bring everything. Imi babayis was Boshas Amalka, Imi babayis. And that's why the Megillah ends with Mordechai, not with Esther. Because Lamaisa, in the end, the halacha is like Mordechai, that one shul with more people is better than two shuls with less people. Okay. However, as a zecher to the fact that there is such a thing as two shuls in one shul, the Purim was nikba with a zecher to both. There's Purim within the walls, right, for the people who are within the chomos of the Moshav, and there's Purim for the people outside. Which one's the Iker Purim? The Iker one is the one for the Mukafim, which is on Tesvav, which is mamish like Yom Tov D'Oraisa, right? However, when the Geula will come, then the whole Yerushalayim will be considered all the way till Syria, till Damascus. So here will be considered Yerushalayim, and we'll also read completely on the Tesvav. Everybody will be within the walls. So there'll be only one shul. One shul will be the Tocha Chomos. In any case,
one second,